إني سلم لمن سالمكم وحرب لمن هاربكم إلى يوم القيامة ولعن الله آل زياد وآل مروان ولعن الله بني أمية قاتبا ولعن الله ابن مرجانا ولعن الله عمر بن سعد ولعن الله شمرا ولعن الله أمة أسرجت وألجمت وتنقبت لقتالك بأبي أنت وأمي لقد عظم مصابي بك فأسأل الله الذي أكرم مقامك وأكرمني بك أن يرزقني طلب ثارك مع إمام منصور من أهل بيت محمد صلى الله عليه وآله. اللهم اجعلني عندك وجيها بالحسين عليه السلام في الدنيا والآخرة يا أبا عبد الله يا أبا إني أتقرب إلى الله وإلى رسوله وإلى أمير المؤمنين وإلى فاطمة وإلى الحسن وإليك بمبالاتك وبالبراءة ممن أسس أساس ذلك وبنى عليه بنيانا وجرى في ظلمه وجوره عليكم وعلى أشيائكم برئت إلى الله وإليكم منه وأتقرب إلى الله ثم إليكم بموالاتكم وموالاة وليكم وبالبراءة من أعدائكم والناصبين لكم الغاب وبالبراءة من أشيائهم وأتباعهم. إني سلم لمن سالمكم وحرب لمن هاربكم وولي لمن والاكم وعدو لمن عاداكم. فأسأل الله الذي أكرمني بمعرفتكم ومعرفة أوليائكم ورزقني البراءة من أعدائكم أن يجعلني معكم في الدنيا والآخرة وأن يثبت لي عندكم قدم صدق في الدنيا والآخرة وأسأله أن يبلغني المقام المحمود لكم عند الله وأن يرزقني طلب ثاركم مع إمام مهدي ظاهر ناطق بالحق منكم وأسأل الله بحقكم وبالشأن الذي لكم عنده أن يؤتيني بمصابيبكم أفضل ما يؤتي مصابا بمصيبته مصيبة ما أعظمها وأعظم رزيتها في الإسلام وفي جميع السماوات والأرض. اللهم اجعلني في مقامي هذا ممن تناله منك صلوات ورحمة ومغفرة. اللهم اجعل محياي محيا محمد ومماتي ممات محمد وآل محمد. اللهم إن هذا يوم تبركت به بنو أمية وابن كلة الأكبر اللئين ابن اللئين على لسانك ولسان نبيك صلى الله عليه وآله في كل موطن وموقف وقف فيه نبيك صلى الله عليه وآله. اللهم لعن أبا سفيان ومعاوية ويزيد بن معاوية عليهم منك اللعنة أبدا الآبدين. وهذا يوم فرحت به آل زياد وآل مروان بقتلهم الحسين صلوات الله عليه. اللهم فضاعف عليهم اللعنة منك والعذاب الأليم. اللهم إني أتقرب إليك في هذا اليوم وفي موقفي هذا وأيام حياتي بالبراءة منه واللعنة عليه وبالمغالاة لنبيك وآل نبيك عليه وعليهم السلام. اللهم لعن أول الظالم ظلمك محمد وآل محمد وآخر تابع له على ظالمك. اللهم لعن الإصابة التي جاهدت الحسين وشايعت وبايعت وتابعت على قتله. اللهم لعنهم جميعا. السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله وعلى الأرواح التي هلت بفنائك. عليك مني سلام الله أبدا ما بقيت وبقي الليل والنهار ولا جعله الله آخر العهد مني لزيارتكم. السلام على الحسين وعلى علي بن وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين اللهم خص أنت أقبل ظالم باللعن مني وابدأ به أولا ثم الثاني والثالث والرابع اللهم لن يزيد خامسا ولن عبيد الله بن زياد وابن مرجان وعمر بن سعد وشمران قال أبي سفيان قال زياد قال مروان إلى يوم القيامة اللهم لك الحمد حمد الشاكرين لك على مصاب الحمد لله على عظيم رزيتي اللهم ارزقني شفاعة الحسين يوم الورود وثبت لي قدم صدق عندك مع الحسين وأصحاب الحسين الذين بذلوا مهجهم دون الحسين عليه السلام.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحیم و بهی نستعین. کسب اجازه از پیشگاه مقدس حضرت بقیت الله الاعظم روحی فدا جلسه امشب رو شروع می‌کنیم. خوشنودی آقا امام زمان، صلواتی ختم بفرمایید. عرض تسلیت داریم به مناسبت ایام سوگواری 40 حضرت سید الشهدا و همچنین مناسبت هایی که در پیش هست، شهادت جانگداز امام حسن مجتبی، حضرت علی ابن موسی رضا سلام الله علیهم اجمعین و همچنین رحلت ملکوتی پیامبر گرامی اسلام حضرت محمد ابن عبدالله صلی الله علیه و آله و سلم. خوش آمد میگیم به همه عزیزانی که تشریف آوردن. امشب از ادامه برنامه هستش از برنامه‌های دهه آخر ماه صفر که مرکز تعلیمات اسلامی به این مناسبت برگزار میکنه. در ادامه برنامه سخنرانی خواهیم داشت و قابل تذکر هستش که امشب 3 مهمان از کامیونیتی بیرون داریم که در جمع ما حضور خواهند داشت. 3 کاندیدی که برای بالاترین آفیسی که در کانتی مونتگومری هستش، کاندیداهای کاونتی اگزیکیتیو، نانسی فیورین، مارک اریک و رابین فیکر، هر 3شون قراره امشب به من گفتن میان برای دقایقی صحبت میکنن. انتخابات هم برای اونهایی که اطلاع دارن و علاقمند هم هستن، انتخابات میدترم 3 شنبه هستش، انتخابات لوکال و استیت هست و 3 نفری که کاندیدی اینجا میان بالاترین آفیس عرض کردم در کانتی مونتگومری هستش که مستقیما تحولات کانتی ما، شهر ما و این منطقه ما زیر نظر این آفیس هستش. بدون اطاله وقت دعوت میکنم از سخنران امشب ما برادر عزیزم جناب آقای دکتر محمد علی اسلامی تشریف بیارم، ما رو به فیض برسونن. بعد از اون ادامه برنامه رو خواهیم داشت. صلوات دیگری عنایت بفرمایید.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قال الله تعالى في كتابه الكريم أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم هو الذي بعث في الأميين رسولا منهم يتلو عليهم آياته ويزكيهم ويعلمهم الكتاب والحكمة وإن كانوا من قبل لفي ضلال مبين. صدق الله العلی العظیم. برای سلامتی خودتون، رفتگانتون، انشالله که همشون از این برنامه they take blessings and be with the Prophet and the Imams during these nights. Please send a loud salawat. I just got back from a trip today and I'm coming off a cold, so I'm not going to try to do the flip between Farsi and English, otherwise what just happened will happen again. Tonight, the focus of my talk is going to be something very simple. It'll be communication. What is communication? What does it mean to deliver a point to someone? What are the components of it? How do we do it? And how is it under attack today? So communication, talking, has 4 specific parts. First is there has to be a transmitter, right? There has to be somebody who wants to deliver some kind of message. If there's no transmitter, there's no communication. Second, there has to be a receiver. If there's nobody to listen, you can deliver whatever you want. There's nobody on the other side to receive it. Third, probably most importantly, there has to be a message. There has to be something that needs to be delivered. Otherwise, you'll have 2 people standing, and they'll just be staring at each other. There's no idea that's being transferred from one person to the other person. It could be an idea. It could be a feeling, right? If you eat something and you don't like what you ate, you go. Or if you're drinking tea and the tea is too hot, you go, right? And so people know that a message was delivered. The tea was hot, and you didn't have to say a word. So there was a transmitter, there was a receiver, there was a message. The one thing that gets overlooked, and it gets overlooked quite often, and it's the thing that's causing communication in today's day and age to erode and change the way we know and completely ruin and breaks all rules of proper communication, is the means of communication, is the channel, the medium that we use to communicate. That'll be the focus of tonight's talk. I think there's plenty of people better than me to talk about the transmitters, right? How a transmitter needs to understand its receiver first. If I know that I'm coming to talk to somebody at IEC, right, one of the reasons why it's harder for me to talk here is because the audience is made up of mostly Farsi-speaking people, right? So it's very difficult for somebody like me to prepare a proper speech in Farsi to deliver it to this audience. So it becomes incumbent upon the transmitter to understand the receiver, to create their message in a way where the receiver will understand it. That's the way it's supposed to be. The message has to be coherent. It has to be clear. It has to be full of context. There are all these different rules that go through the process of communication. What is that process? Let's break it down. It actually has 6 steps. First, the message, which is the core of communication, forms in the transmitter's head. This is called wujud zehni. It doesn't have a physical existence yet. It's an idea. It's something that comes in your head, whether it's a reaction or whether it's an actual thought. When you drank tea, that example was it's a reaction. If you actually want to say something, then you have to sit down, think what you want to say, and then you bring it out. So the first step is the thought forms in the person's head. Or the reaction forms in the person's head, either one. Second is that thought now, which is all over the place. Remember, it doesn't have a physical existence. Has to be prepared by the transmitter in a certain way. It has to form words. For example, you want to tell somebody how to get to from here to your house. So what do? In your head, what comes in your head is not the words first. What comes in your head is the picture of where you are, the picture of your home, and you know in your head that the directions for me to go from here to home is come out of IEC, turn left. I'll give you guys Ajay Saburi's address. Right? You come out, you turn left, go towards Falls Road, turn right somewhere on Falls Road. I don't go there enough apparently. I don't know exactly where it is. You find the street, you'll turn right, but those words don't come into your head. You get the point. The directions come in. And so what does the transmitter do? The transmitter can't expect some kind of telepathic process of this thing that came in his head to go into the receiver's head. So what does he have to do? He has to form it into words. He has to come and say, okay, when you sit in your car, come out of IEC, on Montrose, turn left. See, that's a different form of the message now. It's not the same message that came in your head. There's some transfer of information from the thing that was in your head to now what you're saying. Anytime, so that's called a projection. Anytime you do a projection, there's loss. What you had in your head is not what's being said, period. Impossible. It is not a 1-to-1, 100% lineup. There's going to be some kind of loss in that translation. So what do? We try to minimize that loss. Either you try to extend the description of it to be very, very detailed, to try to describe everything that came in your head, or you draw it. Right? If you're giving directions, for example. So it's prepared by the transmitter. Then once it's prepared, it's delivered. Right? It has to actually come out. Otherwise, you'll just form it. The words will be formed in your head, and then and the guy will be waiting for directions to Hajoya Saburi's house. Through some kind of means, right? You either draw it, you say it. Fourth, after it travels through the media that you choose, it has to be sensed by the receiver. If the person is deaf, and you're talking to him and you're forming those words, he's not going to hear it, or she's not going to hear it. So what do? You have to sign it to them. Right? So it's sensed through their visual senses, or it's sensed through their sensory senses, through their hearing senses. After it's sensed by them, then it's translated from the sense that they picked up to the idea that you had. So you see there's 6 stages. One simple harf goes through. And we do it so frequently. Every day. Especially in the Iranian community. It probably happens more frequently in communities like this than it does in some of the others. Everybody has some kind of opinion that they have to get across. They just have to, regardless of the message. My phone keeps locking. So what is a miscommunication? A miscommunication is an error in any one of stages 2 through 6. There's often not an error in stage 1. That's a separate issue. That's not a communications issue. Once the message is formed in the first person's head, that's when the communication process starts. So if there's an error before that the person thought about the wrong thing, that's something else. But in the communications process, if there is a miscommunication in stages 2 through 6 that I just listed out, there's some kind of noise, there's some kind of error. Either going from here, I used the wrong word. There's too much noise in the fans are making too much noise, the person can't hear me. Or the person heard the wrong thing, or the person understood the wrong idea. All of those lead to what's called miscommunication. So what we're going to do tonight is look at this concept of miscommunication, these stages of communication, and focus not on the transmitter, not on the receiver, not on the message. Those I think have been talked about more than enough. But we'll talk about one of the most important pieces. Actually, is the only piece that at one point in time of this whole process, if you noticed, links all three things. And that's the medium, the means, the channel, the how you communicate it. It links the message, it links the transmitter, and it links the receiver, all in one stage. So if something goes wrong in the transmitter, right, you could potentially just fix it in the transmitter. It's all good to go. If something is wrong in the receiver, you could go fix it in the receiver, and then potentially everything else should be good to go. If something is wrong in the message, you could go fix the message, and then, you get the point. If something is wrong in the channel, right? If I go touch the channel at any point in time, I may also mess up the transmitter, I may also mess up the message, and I may also mess up the receiver. All while trying to fix the channel. It happens all the time. They do these psychology tests sometimes. They'll turn on some kind of sound. They'll have it on in the background until you get desensitized to it. And they'll start talking to you. And then have you noticed, at work or at home, the AC turns on, right? And all you hear for a while is whoosh. And then the next thing you know, it goes off. And then for a few seconds there, sometimes a few minutes, depending on who you are. Sometimes even a few hours, if you're really in trouble. And you go, that's how a room should. It's quiet. So imagine if right in that period of time, somebody came and told you something. The probability of an error there is really high. Really, really high. Humans are very good at fixing this. Computers, not so much so. If there's something that goes wrong in a network, in the communications channel of a network, the receiving computer has very few error checking or error correcting methods to actually fix the message. I just found out that the channel changed, and so therefore the message was actually this. Fix what I had. And you can see one letter can make a huge difference. A huge difference. So let's take a look at the means of communication and kind of how they evolved over time. The simplest, and I think the foremost way that communication existed was conversation face-to-face. Somebody wanted to talk to somebody, so you walked up to that person and you talked to them. You had to talk to an audience, you went to those people. Again, we're ignoring the transmitter and the preparation and all that stuff. We're just talking about the means now, the media, the channel. The person walks to that audience, walks to that person, sees that person or those people, and speaks to them. Right? That was the first, before we had letters, before we had pens and paper, before we had any of these things. Right? You notice Allah could have sent down the Quran or the Prophet at any point in time in history. But He chose a very specific time. in a very specific way. And we'll come to what that means. That refers back to the ayah that I started. The second form, and I'm probably skipping a few, right? I'm just giving you guys the highlights, is letters. Right? The first one was good. It was really good. It's necessary for you to see the other person when you're speaking with them. You can gauge a lot of reactions, but it is also limiting. Right? How is it limiting? Can you imagine? I mean, most of us here, my parents, I think most of you all, if not your parents, immigrated here. If they couldn't send letters back home to their family, then there was no way to communicate back home. None. So face-to-face is really good, but obviously has its limits. So the second form that came up was letters. You would write. You would write a letter, a detailed letter. Maman, falan cheez shode, this has been nice. I'm doing this now. I remember my mom used to get letters from my grandfather from India. Even though there were phones. For some reason, he still liked to write. So write these long letters, and then you would mail them. The process of writing, اتفاقاً to Quran, has come a lot of times. Today I looked, I think 224 ayahs, if I remember the number right. As in the Christians, the Jews, and the Muslims are called Ahl Kitab. It's referring back to our book. Not to our God, not to the one God, right? Not to the Abrahamic faiths as we say it in English, right? But in Arabic, when Allah wants to refer to the Christians and Muslims, the Jews, He says, Ahlul Kitab, Kutb. Book. Something written. Some kind of scripture was written. So it's letters. Those are also limiting, right? Remember how long it used to take to write a letter? You have to go bring pen. But even now, at this age, with all this technology, download a PDF to read on your iPad or on your phone, or even on your laptop for work. Nothing. Even for me, right now, if I really want to learn something, I have to sit down and write it. I could read it 100 times and get it, but not very well, right? Because 2 weeks later, if you come and ask me, I would have forgotten it. But if I sat down and wrote something, right, and read and wrote what I was understanding, and because it exercises so many different parts of the mind to ensure that you understand it. You write it, it'll stick, or it sticks better. Then came the phone. The phone, what was nice about it? You notice we're starting to move towards increasing space of communication. You can start to communicate with more people. Now you have letters, you can write, you can give it to a messenger. The messenger will take it and will deliver it to the person that it was written to, hopefully. Right? So what have you done from face to face? You've increased the breadth of where it can go. If you've overcome that limitation. Then came phones, which not only increased the breadth again, right? Maybe not so much. You could send a letter anywhere, really. Right? But definitely increased the speed. Right? You can call somebody and talk to them much faster than you can write a letter and have it sent to them. Much, much faster. Much more frequently. Remember the calls we used to get from overseas? When the phones first came out? The calls had to be short. Remember? As Hendo, as Irano, just be careful. At first it's like, oh, okay, so it's probably night there. And so therefore, keep it short. And then you realize, oh no, it's like $5 a minute. So keep it short. Hang up quick. What's fun is some of the folks we still call on the other side of the world, Fik Mikonan, that because I'm far away, they have to yell in the phone. So you don't have to yell. It's loud and clear. Just calm down a little. Whenever we call Iran, we have to hold the phone kind of over here. Then came email. Right? What did email do? It further increased frequency. And it increased breadth. Right? You will not call somebody you don't know. And if you do, kudos. But the likelihood is low of you calling somebody that you don't know. You'll call a friend. I mean, just look at your recent calls. It's probably to friends and family and colleagues. But take a look at your email history, especially nowadays. I mean, nowadays actually it's less, and I'm getting to that. Before, right, email used to be, okay, now I can just send an email to a group of people at once, before all this teleconference and everything came in. So I can hit 20 people at once with an email. It was still writing. It was easier than actually pulling out a piece of paper and pen, right? Why? Because piece of paper and pen, when you write it, if I make a mistake, oh my God. Either you, or you have to tear up the paper, throw that out, you have to start again. Email, no, backspace, done. Command Z, or Control Z back then for Windows. Done. So email made life easy. But it also made life horrible. Because soon, in your inbox, you used to get emails whose subjects were forward, 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 forward. Some random topic. Which essentially showed the chain, and this is where communication now, all the technology that was coming to help with communication, started to break the rules of communication now. The rapidness in spreading information to all of these different people so fast started to break the common rules of communication. Because it was so easy. What is the impact that started to have on the receiver? The receiver would start to get inundated with, oh my God, I now have all these emails I have to go through. And most of them are from my mom and dad. These people were very important people when they said something, but now I have all these forwarded emails from them. Alhamdulillah, my parents never forwarded me any emails. But I've seen some of your kids' inboxes way back when. Man, some of the emails you all would forward. The chains of forward, I was like, whoa. ما حتی حدیث هم نداریم که اینقدر سلسله داشته باشه. Forward, 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 forward. It would hit this guy, and then that guy would hit that guy. And you wouldn't even see who you were forwarding it to. It would just go to everybody in your address. Gone. Didn't matter who they were. Forward. And this technology now also started to bring new ways to make errors in communication. How? How many times did you talk to the wrong person? Maybe. Right? Once every 1,000 conversations. How many times did you call the wrong person? Okay, more frequently. I may have hit the wrong button. How many times did you email the wrong person? Especially now with autocomplete. It's probably happened within the past couple months if you're sending emails. And now we come to what today's way of communication is. Now that I look at people's inboxes when they show them to me, you don't see any more forwarded emails. Where did they all go? They all disappeared from inboxes and email because we have a different means of doing it. It's called Telegram or WhatsApp or Facebook. The speed of communication now, without any verification of the information, and the breadth of people that it can hit has gone up from conversation probably 1 billion-fold. Because remember, in conversation, you could probably talk to one person at a time. If you're really good and you really want to have a real conversation, not a one-way conversation, maybe 3 people. When you got to 510, there was always one person who was talking and everybody else was listening, like this. Right? This isn't a conversation. This is a delivery. If everybody here came to talk, we'd be here till tomorrow morning. But they do it now. How do they do it? They do it on the likes of Telegram. On social media today, there are 2.8 billion people. Billion. 2.8 billion divided by 3 is the ratio that it went up. 1 billion fold. 1 billion times since conversation. We are now able to get a thought, get a message out there. On the one hand, it's very good. Right? You get to know about other sides of the world. You get to hear about other cultures without traveling to them. Right? It has its benefits. You get to keep in touch with family more frequently. You can send pictures of friends and family to family on the other side when they're not around. Right? You can keep people engaged. But man, if it's used wrong, holy cow. Could you imagine saying something wrong to 2.8 billion people? What would you do? How would you fix that? Now, what is communication? Communication has 2 forms now. It has swipe up with a thumb or swipe up with a finger. I haven't seen any other form. It's either this or this. That's simple. These social media platforms like Telegram and WhatsApp add so much noise in this channel, so much noise, that it blocks out the real signals that are out there that people should actually listen for and hear. We see now the worst one that I hate the most is Twitter. Not only does it break the form of communication, but it limits you to 250, not even words, but characters in a message. And we all know and love one person that loves to use Twitter at certain times of the nights to get a message out. And then the news will talk about that one tweet for the whole day. Then it'll put out another tweet, and then we talk about that one for a whole day. And it is just cycle repeats. Could you imagine tweeting the wrong thing? We know one guy that does a lot. It's unbelievable. You are asking somebody to not give you all the context of the message that they want to deliver and telling them, strip out everything and just give me a 250 line. It used to be 125. They just changed it to 250 2 weeks ago. WhatsApp, Telegram, Twitter, Facebook, all this stuff has information that's ephemeral. Ephemeral means it's meaningless because it disappears. You notice at least your emails, you archive them. You actually do, probably once in a blue moon, search for an email. How many times have you looked back at your Telegram messages to something that you received a week ago, a month ago? It's changed the way you think and talk completely to wanting and needing information rapidly. And if you don't get it rapidly, the authenticity doesn't matter anymore. You need it fast because that's what these platforms are focused on. These platforms are not focused on authenticity. They don't care. It's not my problem. These guys wanted to talk. I just gave them a means to talk. And so then, next thing you know it, you have the shooting that occurred in the synagogue. You have all these other acts of hatred and racism that occur against Muslims. You have Christians being killed in Egypt. I heard once that 80% of the traffic from a certain country in the Middle East is Telegram. 80% of internet traffic. And these countries don't have Netflix and things like that, right? To make up a good load. 80% is so much. Of just telegram messages, back and forth. Somebody takes from one channel, posts in another channel, and then posts in another channel, and posts in another channel, and posts in another channel. I mean, I'm curious. From here, how many times, if this was a verbal communication, right? If somebody told you something, for you to go and tell the next person, it would at least take the time of travel from you hearing what this person said to you getting to the next person, if you were going to do it immediately. But now you don't even have that. For the information to actually sit in, sink in, for you to think a little bit. Now you read half the article by skimming on a phone and with moving your thumb. The only thing that gets a good workout is not even your mind, is your thumb. To move this thing up and down for the notifications. The most distracting thing in the world. Again, it has its benefits. I'm not debating its benefits. But it's one of those things where we're going to say, oh yeah, we're convincing ourselves this is a very, very good thing, but then the next thing you know, it's going to be one of those things that, one of those cartoons that you'll stand on one piece, oh yeah, this is really, really good, but all that's left is Zamin that you're standing on. Everything else has eroded away, and we didn't even realize it. Communication. Now, there's 3 ways to fix it, at least to try to attempt to fix it. On these social platforms. One is, before you forward a message that you received, if it is not in a topic that you are well versed in, check with an expert in that field. Do a Googling or two. Read a few articles. That doesn't make you an expert. Then you know what question to ask of which expert before you forward it. Check with them. At least you do your part in the authenticity of this. Oh no, that newspaper is a very authentic newspaper. It's valid, the information that it puts out. Nowadays, you can't trust anything. Doesn't matter who's what, authentic where. You don't even know if that newspaper actually put it up. You're getting it from some link, from some forward, from some guy. That website may have been hijacked for all you know. Second, minimize the information flow that's coming out of you by keeping it to the things that really matter. And everything can't matter. That really matter to you. I was on some channels I finally took the dive a month ago and I got on Telegram. For one reason. All the guys were organizing soccer on Sundays and they were doing it on Telegram. I didn't want them to send me a separate text. I joined, I'm only in that one channel. And I got added to one more, I was like, oh my God, what is this? Useless information being put out. And you see a few people post the same link on like 8 different channels. And then we'll post a link about another topic. We'll post a link about another topic. It's like, whoa, slow down. Pick something that really matters to you, that you want to consistently forward. And stick to that. Nothing else. Let the other 2.8 billion minus 1 people handle the rest. We have more than enough people. There's less topics than there are people. Somebody else will pick it up. They got your back. Don't worry about it. Pick something. Next, if you receive something that is a forward and it is not in category 2, and as far as you know, there was no expert validation, like expert validation, cut it off. Even if it matches what you think is really cool and makes sense and, oh wow, this is interesting, don't forward it. There's no need to. If it's out there, people will find it. You don't need to be the one to forward it. Lastly, if you really have to forward it, it's itching you that you have to take it, copy from this channel and paste it in the other channel and hit send. Or I don't know, what do they call it in Telegram? Is it still send or is it like a tele? If you really have to send it in Telegram, then at least don't do it immediately. Take some time to think about the message you just read and then do it. We'll end with the ayah that I started with. If we have learned anything from the Quran, anything, that is how Allah communicated with us. هُوَ الَّذِي بَعَثَ فِي الْأُمِّيِّينَ رَسُولًا مِّنْهُمْ يَتْلُو عَلَيْهِمْ آيَاتِهِ وَيُزَكِّيهِمْ وَيُعَلِّمُهُمُ الْكِتَابَ وَالْحِكْمَةَ وَإِنْ كَانُوا مِنْ قَبْلُ لَفِي ضَلَالٍ مُبِينٍ. Allah wanted to send us one message. Not 1,000. One. That one has a lot of topics under it, but all those topics boil up to one thing. How to live a proper life. That's simple. And there's many sub-messages under it. But how did he do it? He didn't tweet it. Nor did he copy-paste it and send it to every Telegram channel that exists. He could have done that. He could have waited. The Prophet could have came yesterday. Now that Telegram is a thing. And sent it then. But instead, he selected an individual, not just any individual, not even a quote-unquote intelligent individual from some other community somewhere else to come in this community to explain it. بَعَثَ فِي الْأُمِّيِّينَ رَسُولًا مِّنْهُمْ. The deliverer of God's message was from among the people that needed, that were going to be the audience of God's message. Allah didn't choose the Prophet from Saudi Arabia. He didn't choose the Prophet from the United States to go and teach the people in Saudi Arabia, in Mecca. It doesn't work that way. He selected somebody from a tribe, a respected tribe, in that group to begin the message, to begin the delivery. We can't expect people in, some parts in Kentucky, for example, to understand what we as Iranian Muslims here in DC think and like and act like, and our culture. We're not from among them. They're not from among us. So what we need to do if we want to get that message across is not go deliver the whole message ourselves to all those people in Kentucky, but is to find one from among them, maybe two, a small group, something, begin an engagement with them, and then they will spread the message to the folks that they understand and they know. And vice versa. The same way. To reduce the barriers of communication. You notice Twitter, Telegram, WhatsApp, Facebook, none of them allow that. They're all open. All of them. Next, he says, وَيُزَكِّيهِمْ وَيُعَلِّمُهُمُ الْكِتَابِ. He brings two fi'l mudari, two continuous acting verbs in this ayah. It says first, before delivering the message, right, before doing the ta'lim kitab, before teaching the book that was written, which was another form of message, he first started to purify folks. And as that was happening, he didn't stop that. He then went, once the ayahs of the book started to come down, he would teach those. Then he would continue to purify. Then he would continue to teach. Then he would continue to purify. And that was his whole life. up until his passing, which is his shahadat, which is in a day, 2 days, 3 days. From the very beginning, his ta'lim-e-kitab probably started at age 40. But his wayuzakihim started happening from when he was a child. All the way. And that got handed down to Imam Ali, got handed down to Imam Hassan, who if Imam Hassan didn't make that treaty with Muawiyah to put against something in stone, there would have been no Karbala, there would have been no Arbaeen, there would have been no Ashura or Imam Hussein. These people knew how to communicate. Which is why after 1400 years, we may still have some, Abdul Hamid has a nice line for some of the maddahi that happens. Yabar masrafis. Right? You hear something, it has a nice rhythm, pachinga, 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 and you'll come and you'll sing it. Those yabar masrafi noise, they're no good. You gotta find the ones that really have a lesson in the nohe as well. To have that message, to be able to continue from 1400 years ago, yes, the transmitter was perfect, the message was perfect, but the means of their communication was also perfect. So at least in all of those regards, now all the burden is on the receivers. And so we have to follow in those footsteps. Inshallah, we benefit from the nights of, remaining nights of Safar. We have now shifted from the ayyam of Arbaeen slowly towards Medina, where we remember and commemorate the martyrdom of Imam Hassan and the Prophet. Inshallah khuda qismat kone, we all have an opportunity one day to get up and go, not to the harams that are currently occupied by a certain family that probably doesn't belong in place, but to an area that can remind us all of the peacefulness that we will go to after we commemorate those nights, to the likes of Mashhad. Inshallah. Bar Muhammad wa ala Muhammad salawat.
I'd like to thank Dr. Muhammad Ali Islami for his presentation. As I made the announcement very shortly, actually our guests, as I mentioned, they're going to be with us tonight. They are here. They're taking a short tour of the facility before they join us here in the auditorium. So other than the 3 candidates for the county executive who are joining us tonight, Mark Ehrlich and Nancy Furine and Robin Ficker. We also have Ms. Reda Motia. Ms. Motia is the president and CEO of Capital Area Food Bank. They are, in a sense, in charge of taking care of the needy and try to feed and fight the hunger in Washington, D.C. area. She will be here to share with us her experience and probably give us some direction as how, if we are interested, we can help their effort with the food bank. So, as they are outside taking the tour of the facility, we just have to wait a few more minutes. They should be joining us again shortly. And while we are waiting, the best thing we can do is Bar Muhammad wa ala Muhammad salawat. بهترین فرصت هم هستش واقعا تعجیل در ظهور حضرت ولی عصر صلوات قرایی ختم بفرمایید. صلی علی محمد. محمد و آل محمد و عجل فرجهم. سلامتی خودتون، خانواده عاقبت به خیریه خودتون، عاقبت به خیریه فرزندانتون، صلوات دیگر عنایت بفرمایید. عجل فرجهم. بله، حالا ما چیزی رو نداریم خدمتتون تقدیم کنیم واسه پر کردن برنامه. البته بنده حرف زیاد است بخوایم بزنیم، ولی خب صبر میکنیم تا مهمانا بیان، ما هم دیگه وقت شما رو با حرفای جانبی و کناری نگیریم. انشاءالله که خداوند عزادانی این ایام رو از همه ما قبول بفرماید. انشاءالله همونگونه که آقای دکتر اسلامی هم اشاره فرمودن قسمت بشه در یه همچین ایامی در نجف باشین، در کربلا باشین. شاید خدا بخواد سال دیگری این موقع بعضی از ما، همه ما در پیاده روی به سمت کربلا برای اربعین انشاءالله حضور داشته باشین. انشاءالله خداوند به برکت این ایام، به برکت این مجالس، به برکت حضور شما در این مجالس شما رو همیشه حاجت روا نگه داره، رفع گرفتاری، رفع مشکلات کنه. یکی از دوستان ما هستش که الان تقریبا یک ماهی در بیمارستانه، بعضیش هم خراب، مادرش اینجا میادش، از کسانی هستش که مرتب در IEC شرکت میکنه. سرطان ریه گرفته بود. حقیقتش حالا این داستان ما میگیم وقتم پر که اطاله نشه. کمرش درد میکرد، رفتش فکر کردن دیسک کمر، رفتن عمل کنن و دکتر گفتش که یه کتسکن دیگه انجام بدین. کتسکن که انجام دادن دید یه قده‌ای توی ریه‌شه، گفت اونو بررسی کنیم، دیدن اون سرطانه. خداوند انشاءالله نصیب هیچ کسی نکنه که گرفتار بیمارستان ها باشه. اونو بررسی کردن، دیدن این سرطان تمام بدن اینو از سرش تا پاشو گرفته. الان یک ماه در بیمارستان. عرض کردم مادرشم از جزء کامیونیتی ماست، میاد اونجا. منم تا اونجا که فرصت. بله اسمش چیه؟ خیلی از شما که اگه ماشین خریدین از دارکارز تویوتا تو 355 سعدی رو میشناسین. سعدی از کسانی هستش که همیشه کمک ایرانیا بوده هستش. الان یه ماه خورده تقریبا در بیمارستان، در بعض وقتی هم هستش. منم تا اونجا که فرصت میشه هفته 3-4 باری میرم بیمارستان، شاید فردا ان شاءالله برم. دعا بفرمایید برای شفای همه بیماران. مادرش هم اینجا از مجالس اینجا غذا می آورد اونجا تا میتونست بخوره، بهش غذایی میداد. الان که دیگه غذا نمیخوره، از طریق توپ بهش غذا میرسونه. خداوند انشاءالله نصیب نکنه، واقعا شرایط سختیه، کسی که برای خودش کسی بوده سرپا بوده با اون شرایط بیفته. حالا ما منتظر هستیم که این میهمانان گرانقدر ما تشریف بیارن اینجا صحبتاشونو بکنن. عرض کردم که election is 3 days away. Election is on Tuesday, and those who can and those who can and want you can attend. Well, Dr. Salimian says you have to. I respect that. Not entirely agree with it. I'm not going to vote, but that's fine. I can vote, but I'm not going to vote this Tuesday. So if you can and want to vote, by all means, please go. Dr. Salimian is right in a great extent that it determines who is in charge, and especially for our community, our growing community, Muslim community. When you see people who are candidates and come here and attend and respect Muslims, respect our communities, that is something positive. There's so many negative things going on against Muslims, against the propaganda against Muslims. So when you see a few people who are a little more sympathetic towards us, I think that's something that should be cherished, something that should be appreciated. From what I have read and have heard, a lot of immigrants and minorities, they started like this. They went through some rough times until they became established. I was looking at some articles, as Dr. Islami said, on the internet. And now women in hijab has become something that is accepted. I mean, there are now models that they model different Islamic dresses internationally. 20 years ago, 30 years ago, when I came here 45 years ago, when I said I'm a Muslim, they say, oh, you're Arab? I said, no, I'm a Muslim. Oh, so you're Arab? I said, no, there are Muslims who are not in an Arab land. I'm Iranian. So it becomes established even for other minorities, other immigrants, other religious minorities who came to the country. They had some time for them to establish themselves. Okay. I understand that some of our guests, one or maybe more, they have gone through the visiting the facility and taking the tour. As I said, 3 candidates for the highest office in Montgomery County, which is the office of the county executive, they have joined us tonight. We appreciate it. We are grateful for them to be with us, taking time from, I'm sure it's a very busy schedule for them, days before the election. But they have taken time from their schedule, have joined us. We are grateful. We welcome them, and it's my honor and privilege to introduce them to you and have them here. Although as a nonprofit organization, IEC cannot and will not endorse any candidate, but the purpose of being here tonight and inviting the candidates is to create a forum or present a forum for them to introduce themselves and share with you their thoughts, their positions, and I'm sure they're going to encourage you to also take part in the voting on Tuesday. From what I understand, the 3 top running candidates for the highest office in Montgomery County are Ms. Nancy Fiorin, of course, Mr. Robin Ficker, and Mr. Mark Elkrit. And Ms. Fiorin is here. I understand Mr. Ficker is also here, and Mr. Ehrlich will join us a little later. So, although I know we are observing period of mourning and Arbaeen, but we are not going to be celebrating, I would like to invite all of you to join me and welcome them to our community as they have joined us tonight. Again, is Umadanshun. Okay. Before I invite Mr. Ficker and Ms. Fiorin to the podium, also as I announced, Ms. Reza Mutia, who is now the president and CEO of Capital Area Food Bank, has joined us. From what I read, she took over this position earlier this year. I think it was in February. And they have, from what Haj Agha Bahraini told me, a very extensive effort. Their mission, I'm going to let her, of course, explain more as to what they're doing, what their goals are, but their mission is to fight hunger in Washington, D.C. metropolitan area. And with that brief and concise, and I'm sure I'm not doing the justice in introducing Ms. Mutia, I would invite you to the podium, be with us for a few minutes and tell us what you're doing, and share with our community, please, as to how they can participate or how they can contribute in the effort that you're doing. Please join me again and welcome Ms. Mutia to the podium.
Good evening. Thank you very much for having me here this evening. It is such a distinct honor and pleasure to be with all of you. I had the pleasure to meet with the Imam about a month or so ago when he and a few members of the interfaith community had come to the Capital Area Food Bank. And it was a pleasure to have them volunteer there at the time and to be able to meet and talk to him and several others. So thank you very much for the kind invitation to be here this evening. As mentioned, my name is Radha Muthaya, and I am leading the Capital Area Food Bank. The food bank has been in the Greater Washington area for 38 years now. It might surprise you to know the number of individuals who are hungry on a daily basis in our area, the nation's capital here in the United States. About 500,000 people every year are uncertain where that next meal for them is going to come from. Those individuals are in Montgomery County, in Prince George's County, all across the district in Washington, D.C., in Fairfax, in Arlington, in Alexandria, as well as Prince William County. That is the area that the Capital Area Food Bank serves, and that number of 500,000 comes from all of these different communities. I wish I could tell you that there is a certain zip code or a certain religion or a certain race for which we don't see members of the community who are hungry. But the unfortunate statistic is that hunger exists in all of our zip codes, in all of our races, all of our religions, in the immigrant community, as well as those who've been here for those families who've been here for centuries and for generations. So hunger is something that does not discriminate in our community. But we are thankful that we have neighbors, including all of you and many others, who are concerned about one another and their neighbors and offer to support. The Capital Area Food Bank is so privileged to have 26,000 volunteers every year who come to support those in our community who are hungry and who are uncertain where that next meal is going to come from. Our work at the food bank extends to providing culturally appropriate food, just because we know that if someone is hungry, it doesn't mean that they'll eat just anything that is provided to them. We want to be conscious of their culture, their preferences, and what the religion suggests they should or should not eat. So we've taken great attention, if you will, over the last few years, given that we have so many different individuals from different backgrounds who are hungry, to ensure that we have culturally appropriate foods. The other thing that the food bank is doing is ensuring that we don't just feed those who are hungry, but really use food bundled with other types of basic necessities to be able to help those very individuals go from being food insecure and dependent to being financially independent and food secure, so that they can contribute and be part of the economic growth that's occurring in our area. So I had the privilege just now taking the tour to see, for example, the health facility that's right here on site. It's those types of organizations and institutions that are providing multiple basic needs for the community that the food bank would like to partner with. So we know that we can bring food to the table, but we know when you're bringing food, you're bringing medical and health support, you're bringing education, as you are here with this beautiful school that is on the levels above the mosque. That's when you're enabling someone to go from a state of hunger and dependency to real security and engagement in this community. So the food bank actively thanks and invites all of you to please come volunteer with us, to support through your financial resources, to support through your expertise that can really help individuals go from a state of hunger and dependency to a state where they're much more independent and can contribute themselves to our economy. So thank you so much for having me here. It's a privilege, and I hope to see many of you at the food bank as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. We appreciate your time. I appreciate you taking the time joining us. It was a pleasure to have you and the other guests that we have here. The three candidates that are going to be joining us tonight, Ms. Florine is an independent candidate for office of the county executive. Mr. Ficker is a candidate from the Republican Party, and Mr. Ehrlich is a candidate from the Democratic Party. But no preference as far as who to call to the podium first. I think ladies are first, so I will call Ms. Florine to the podium and join me to welcome her to the podium. Thank you very much. I'm sorry? Come on.
Assalamu alaikum. Thank you. Thank you so much for inviting me to speak with you tonight. My name is Nancy Florine. I am a candidate for county executive. I have with me my campaign manager in the back row, Rich Parsons, who is a good friend I know to this community. I am running for county executive because I believe this is a very pivotal time in Montgomery County's history. And you will have a choice as to what our future looks like. Certainly, given the turmoil at the national level, the killings that we're seeing on a daily basis, we know that we must all stand together. We must fight for our values in a community, in our community, and as Americans. We share the same values of hard work, investing in education for our children, and welcoming people from all over the world who make our community stronger, not weaker. What you do for the community is a great tribute to who you are and to your values. What you do in this building, in the services that you provide, is a gift to our community. Know that we love you. We appreciate you. We thank you. We value. And I will stand with you no matter what. We need to keep speaking out against the hatred and divisive rhetoric that we hear. And as your county executive, I will do that. I will have your back. It's not easy speaking the truth, which is why I am running in this race. We have before us, in my view, two divisive candidates. Otherwise, that's why I stepped into this race as an independent. I have spent a lifetime in public service in Montgomery County. I have worked with all faiths in all communities. I spoke at a Shabbat service last night where your community was represented as well, because this is a community of all faiths, of people of all backgrounds, where all values are welcomed, where no one will be put in a pigeonhole or treated as unwelcome. It is a risk we face going forward, but I will stand with you. Montgomery County has been working with you and with our nonprofits for many years to help those caught in the travel bans with legal help and providing additional funding forward to support those most in need, who need assistance, who need support through the communities of faith that can best support them. I will be with you. Whether you are part of a mosque, a synagogue, or a church, we must all come together. And we must support each other. But this takes leadership. It takes the years of experience that I've had as a council member. I've been a mayor of a small town in Montgomery County. I have been council president of the Montgomery County Council. I have served for 16 years in very serious leadership positions. I have gotten things done. I'm a lifelong Democrat. I'm running for the county executive position this year, again, as I said, because I thought the two options otherwise provided by our traditional parties are too extreme. And I felt I could not accept the experience of not feeling represented by the person in charge of this community. That's why I'm running. We need a unifying vision. We need a leader who can bring us together. We need to move forward, not argue about the past, but provide our children and our families with the opportunity that we all are all here for. We must invest in our good schools. We must provide transportation choices. And that's what I will be offering you. I am the only one in this race with a track record of getting things done, actually achieved. When I first got into office, we got the ICC, the Intercounty Connector Road, constructed. We got the Montrose Parkway constructed before. You could barely get from 270 to Rockville Pike. We did that. I did that because I knew that was part of the infrastructure that Montgomery County had promised to its community, but had failed to deliver. I did that. I led the first agreement with the Montgomery County Public School System to actually get programs approved that the council knew that people wanted. Ordinarily, we cannot do that because we have no legal authority. But as you know, if we work together, if we listen, if we try to find solutions, we can do that. I'm the only one who's done that, actually, in the history of Montgomery County. I've led the fight for affordable housing. Many people are afraid of it. They say to me, oh, it will bring people who are not like me into my neighborhood. And I will say, we are one. We are welcoming. We will find a place for everyone. Looking ahead, I plan to make growing our tax base a priority. I want to encourage our business investment. I want to encourage our small businesses. I want to encourage economic opportunity for everyone. What I know is that we are here for a future of vitality and opportunity for us all. We are not here for minimum wage jobs. We are here for great jobs. We are here for opportunity and creative choices. We look for the chance to bring our families what they want, to achieve for our values what they demand, great services as you are able to provide here. That takes partnership. That takes hard work. That takes leadership. That's something I've worked on for many years. And why can't we think bigger? Why cannot we have a 4-year research institute here in Montgomery County? A place that will encourage private sector investment, that will create a full degree program for our children close to home. Why can't we do that? People tell me that's too hard. And I say, why can't we think bigger? We have some of the smartest minds in the country here in Montgomery County and in this room. Why don't we work together to build the intellectual future that we can all benefit from? I'd like us to see a regional transportation authority. They have one in Northern Virginia. They actually even have one in parts of Maryland, but not in Montgomery County. Many of you, when you travel to work, may well go to another county and another state. Why don't we work with those players to find solution to our traffic problems? People say to me, that's too hard. And I say, why not? Why not think bigger? We can do this because we have the opportunity, the strength of spirit, and the creativity to make things happen. So I thank you for this brief opportunity to share with you a little bit about me, who I am. I worked for many years on behalf of Montgomery County in public service, and I see this as a great opportunity to take us forward to the next level. We can all do this. We can do this together. So the most important thing now, if you haven't already, you must vote. Voting is on Tuesday. Please, whatever you do, this is your democratic obligation to set the leadership tone for Montgomery County's future, as well as the state, as well as the Congress. It is up to you to make a choice. It is up to you to determine what our priorities are. It is up to you to determine whether we will have economic vitality or not. So with that, I thank you very much, and I wish you a very fine evening. Good night.
Thank you very much, Ms. Arbaeen. We appreciate you, again, taking your time from the schedule you have days before the election and joining us. That means a lot to us. In the past, the current county executive and former prior to that, they have been all very supportive, very nice to our community, and we don't see any reason that the new elected executive would be any different to our community. This is a community of very vibrant professionals, very affluent community. A majority of, if you wanted to get consensus of the members of our community, level of education definitely is minimum of bachelor's and master's degree. A lot of dentists, doctors, lawyers are members of this community. So the mostly Iranian Americans or Muslim Iranians who are here and join us in this community can be very, very important members of Montgomery County. And again, we thank you for joining us tonight. We are still waiting for the two other candidates to join us. And as they do, we will invite them to the podium and we will listen to what they have to say. And for now, if I may switch back to the Persian channel and say a few words. صلواتی خط بفرمایید. محمد و آل محمد و عجل فرجهم. با عرض معذرت من یه نکته رو فقط جسارتاً عرض کنم خدمت بزرگواران و سروران عزیز. این تشویقی که میکنیم مهمانا میان جلو به عنوان دست زدن شادی و میهمانی و پایکوبی نیست. به این صورت اون فرقی هست بینش. خدای نکرده این سوء تفاهم نشه. خب میدونم، خود منم حداقل در سطح شما میدونم که ماه محرم، ماه سفر، ماه عزاداری اربعینه و قصد جسارت هم نیست. این تشویق اینا اومدن به هیچ وجه اینا نباید به پای میگم شادی و جشن و پایکوبی و اینا گذاشت و میدونیدم که این معنا رو نداره. خدای نکرده سوء تفاهم نشید، چون که دوستان معترض شدن که خب ماه سفر، باور فرمایید بنده هم تحت خودم درک میکنم مسائل این ایام رو و مسائل عزاداری امام حسین رو. انشالله که خداوند توفیق به همه ما بده که از دوستداران حضرت ابا عبدالله و ائمه اطهار باشیم در همه بخش‌های زندگیمون. انشالله صلواتی خط بفرمایید. حالا فرصت شد بهش میکروفونم دست ما کاندیدام نرسیدن، اون دو نفر دیگه حالا اومدن نیومدن که ما برنامه عزاداری و ذکر مصیبتمون میپردازیم. باز جسارتا اینم یادآوری کنم در جلسات مختلف مطرح شده، الان تقریبا شاید خانم دولتی تاریخشو بهتر میدونه، شاید 11-12 ساله بزرگواران و بزرگان سفارش کردن زیارت عاشورا در هر روز فراموش نشه. میدونم عده‌ای هستن، اینو مطمئن هستم که تو این 10-12 سال گذشته روزی نگذشته که زیارت عاشورا نخونده باشن. عشق و محبت به امام حسین و اهل بیت رو این گونه هم، یعنی سالی یه بار نباشه که فقط در ایام محرم، در ایام سفر یادی کنیم. هستن کسانی که روزشون به شب نمیرسه مگه اینکه زیارت عاشورا رو از برنامه کاریشون حذف نکنن. انشالله خداوند به بنده هم این توفیق رو بده، به سایرین هم که علاقه‌مند هستن این توفیق رو بده که این گونه ما عشق و محبتمون رو به سید الشهدا نشون بدیم. صلواتی خط بفرمایید. خب تا کاندید نداریم و اینها، ما میکروفون دهنمون کم میشه، گرم قطع نمیشه که این مسئله. نخندیم، خدای نکرده. اگه اجازه بدین برنامه رو ادامه میدیم، چون دیگه برنامه رو برای اومدن اینها نمیتونیم متوقف کنیم. حاج آقام تشریف ندارن داخل سالن که تایید بفرمایند یا تایید نفرمایند. بخش برنامه بعدی برنامه آقای دکتر سلیمیان ذکر مصیبت عزاداری است. بله، پس میپردازیم به اون. اگه تشریف آوردن که فبها، تشریف هم نیاوردن سرشون سلامت باشه انشاءالله. جناب حاج آقا صبوری اجازه میفرمایید؟ برای همه انشاءالله آماده هستن و دلها روانه کربلا هستش. صلواتی هم خواند بفرمایید. اللهم صل علی محمد و آل محمد و عجل فرجهم. التماس دعا از همگی داریم.
السلام علیک یا ابا عبدالله وعلى الأرواح التي حلت بفنائك عليك مني سلام الله أبدا ما بقيت وبقي الليل والنهار ولا جعل الله آخر العهد مني لزيارتكم. السلام على الحسين وعلى علي بن الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين. ما پی نبرده ایم تو را آنچنان که هست، کاری نکرده ایم به قدر توان که هست. مهدی جان کاری برای آمدن تو نکرده ایم، اما برای نظر قدوم تو جان که هست. گر بیقراری دل ما آشکار نیست، پیدا ز حال و روز پریشانمون که هست. ما در قمار عشق به عشق تو آمدیم، پس فارغیم از همه سود و زیان که هست. پس فارغیم از همه سود و زیان که هست. ای دل برای عقد گشایی به سامران ما را نبرده اند اگر جمکران که هست، ما را نبرده اند اگر جمکران که هست. خودتان گفته اید کرب و بلاست، هر کجا روزه ای شود برپا. به مدرسه روزه آقا امام حسین خوش آمدید. آخرای ماه سفر و چند روز دیگه بیشتر به عمر این مجلس برای امسال باقی نمونده. خودتان گفته اید کرب و بلاست، هر کجا روزه ای شود برپا. از همین راه دور میگوییم السلام علیک یا مولا. سلام بر حسین و اهل بیت ابا عبدالله، اهل بیتی که دیروز از کربلا بیرون آمدند و راهی مدینه، اما هنوز حال و هوای کربلا، خاطرات مختلف کربلا در ذهنشونه، نقل زبانشون و حرفهاشون وقایع کربلا. سفر کردم به دنبال سر تو. مگه میشه از زینب یادش بره این همه مصیبت رو؟ سفر کردم به دنبال سر تو، سپر بودم برای دختر تو. برادرم 40 منزل کتک خوردم برادر، به جرم این که بودم خواهر تو. حسین جانم، حسین جانم، حسین جان، حسین جانم، حسین جانم، حسین جان. حسینم و حسین گفت و شنودم، زیارت نامم جسم کبودم، چه در زندان چه در ویرانه شام، دعا می خوندم و یاد تو بودم. حسین جانم، حسین جانم، حسین جان، حسین جانم حسین جانم حسین جان برادرم برای هر بلا آماده بودم چو کوهی روی پا استاده بودم اگر قرآن نمی خواندم برایت کنار نیزت جان داده بودم حسین جانم حسین جانم حسین جان حسین جانم حسین جانم حسین جان بیت آخر من پدر و مادران زیر خاک خوابیده ها از این بیت بهره ببرن سقم آمد به جانم هر سه یک بار همه بلاها با هم سراغم آمدن سقم آمد به جانم هر سه یک بار غریبی یا اسیری یا غم یار غریبی یا اسیری چاره داره آره والله غریبی یا اسیری چاره داره ولی آخر کشد ما را غم یار ای داد و بیداد ای داد و بیداد یکی درد و یکی درمان پسندد یکی وصل و یکی هجران پسندد من از درمان و درد من از درمان و درد و وصل هجران پسندم آن چرا جانان پسندم آن چرا جانان پسندد بارلاها به طواف کعبه کوی حسین بارلاها به مه منور روی حسین این جمع که حاضرند از پیر و جوان بخشا همه را به حرمت خون حسین. انشاءالله دوستان دیگری که قرار است صحبت کنند ادامه میدن و انشاءالله در پایان زیارتنامه رو قرائت خواهیم کرد. یک صلوات بلند خط.
تشکر میکنم از برادر عزیزم جناب آقای صبوری. As we announced earlier, and that the candidates for the office of the executive Montgomery County are going to be joining us tonight and share their views, their thoughts with us. And I'm sure part of it, they would be encouraging us to participate in the election, the midterm election, as we said it before, is on Tuesday. A lot of local and state level offices would be determined. The office that impacts us probably more than anything else is the office of the executive office of Montgomery County is the highest office in the county. The executive actually operates in a sense, like the President of the United States that oversees the entire country. The executive of the county oversees the entire affairs of the county, so he's in charge. In the past, the current and the previous county executives, they have always been very supportive, very nice to our community, to people who attend our mosque here. And we don't have no reason to assume otherwise from the people who are going to take office in upcoming years. They have been kind enough, the three candidates, Mr. Mark Eldridge is the Democratic candidate for the position. We heard Ms. Florine, who is an independent candidate. And I understand that also Mr. Robin Picker was also invited. He's not here yet. He may join us a little later. And we are grateful. We thank Mr. Eldridge for being here. We appreciate you taking the time from the busy schedule that you have only a few days prior to the election to join our community. We have a small sample of our community present here. Of course, as I was sharing with Ms. Florine, our community is very vibrant, very affluent, very educated. Large number of the members of the community, dentists, doctors, attorneys, and professionals. Level of education, if you want to take a medium for our community, would be probably bachelor's, maybe closer to master's degree in our community. So the majority are from the Iranian background, from the Persian background, but there are other nationalities who join our Islamic Center from Afghanistan, from some of the other Middle Eastern countries. And they can be very, very supportive. They can be very good contributors to Montgomery County. Many of them have lived here. Myself, I've lived in Montgomery County for almost 40 years now. So we welcome you. We appreciate you taking the time coming here. And we are ready to listen to Mr. Eldridge and what he has to share with us. If you would once again join me and welcome him to the podium, please.
Assalamu alaikum. And thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to say a few words tonight. My name is Mark Eldridge. I'm the Democratic candidate for county executive. I survived the primary by a whopping 77 votes, but that's what it took to make me the Democratic candidate. I'm running a publicly financed campaign, and I'm proud to say I've had over 4,000 people donate $150 or less to make my campaign possible. And it's one of the largest numbers of citizens that have ever donated to a political campaign at the county level in Montgomery County. I think only Ike had a larger number in one of his 3 elections. And I'm proud of the breadth of support I have in the community. And I'm proud to be running on a team with Ben Jealous at the top and with David Trone in this part of the county, and Jamie Raskin in the southern part of the county where I live, and with Ben Cardin, and with my county council colleagues. And I'm looking forward to being county executive. I just want to give you a little bit of idea what to expect from me. I've been a big supporter of Ike Leggett over the years, and I think one of the things that Ike did that really changed Montgomery County was a decision to make, he called it making the table larger, to make sure that everybody in this county had a seat at the table, everybody in this county would be part of the decision making, everybody in this county would be heard, everybody gets a voice. And one of the things I'm going to make sure we continue is Ike's inclusiveness. I think that's one of the things that makes Montgomery County special, and one of the things that makes us different than a lot of other places around this country. On the day of the shooting at the synagogue in Pittsburgh, that night I attended an event for the Muslim Community Foundation, and the contrast between Pittsburgh and a group of people in the Federation who were talking about the programs they had in Montgomery County that serve all the people of Montgomery County, the pride they took in doing something that built a stronger community instead of tearing a community apart, was really striking. And I thank them for what they did, because the ongoing involvement of the Muslim community in all aspects of Montgomery County life is absolutely critical. People don't know you if they don't talk to you, and if they don't see you. We're in an environment where the president is probably insane, and where he foments a climate of hatred, which is absolutely despicable. And people who don't fit his profile of what's acceptable struggle under the weight of the abuse that he has put upon everybody. So, I try to do my part in making sure people understand the diversity and complexity of Montgomery County. Your groups do your share of letting everybody know what you do and what you care about. And I think we have a really good partnership. And so I want people to know that come December 3rd, when there's an inauguration, that I'm going to keep doing the things that I did to make everybody feel welcome here. My priorities are pretty simple. One, I want to do something about early childhood education. It's become stunningly expensive, $20,000 a child. It's not just a poor person's problem, it's a middle class problem. But, education is really important to this community. As the previous speaker said, you are highly educated. You fill really critical jobs in our community, and you don't get there without having gone to school. And we've got half our kids entering kindergarten at 5 years old who are 2 years behind. And those kids don't catch up. And if they don't catch up in school, they're going to leave school unprepared for work and unprepared for the future. And our job is to make sure that this is the last generation in Montgomery County that starts school unprepared and isn't ready at the end. And my priority is going to be to expand early childhood education programs so that it reaches everybody in Montgomery County. Another thing we're going to tackle is, frankly, the lack of fairness in some of the things Montgomery County does. We do not distribute services necessarily fairly, and our contracting, if any of you are in the business world of Montgomery County, you know that we are not meeting our minority and diversity goals in contracting. And one of the things we've set out to do is to make sure that we meet those goals, that everybody who wants to do business in Montgomery County can do business in Montgomery County. And we're going to focus on giving what you call preferences to local businesses, because we know that if I preference a local business and you win a contract, all your money stays in Montgomery County. If a company from Virginia wins or a company from Pennsylvania wins, I write them a check. That check leaves the county. If I support local businesses, I tax your place you're doing business in. I get taxes from your inventory and from your equipment. Your employees are going to pay income taxes and property taxes to the county. And so a lot of money comes back to Montgomery County by supporting businesses in Montgomery County. We're going to make sure that we prioritize what we do to make sure that when we're growing Montgomery County, we're preferencing those people who live here and work here. I think we'll build a stronger community that way, and more people will get opportunities to take advantage of the business climate that we're trying to create here. The last big thing I want to do is to reshape the county government. I'll be up front. We're not going to raise taxes. I'm sure, everybody wants to be relieved of the idea that somehow Montgomery County taxes are going to go up. My goal is to keep taxes where they are, but what we're going to do is we're going to restructure the county government. We're going to look at everything we do. We're going to bring in people who can help us analyze what jobs we need and what jobs we don't need. And we're going to work with the workforce of Montgomery County to reshape the work environment so we get more productivity, so that we're not having people doing duplicate work that other people are already doing, that we're more efficient with your dollars, not so I can lower the tax rate, but so I can do some of the things we're not able to do right now. I mean, you all run clinics in this county. We don't support mental health and we don't support dental care at the level that we need them. I'd like to be able to free up resources to enable us to reach out to more people for mental health and dental services. I want to be able to contribute money to early childhood education so parents don't have to find $20,000 per child per year to put their kids in early childhood education. So my goal in making this government more efficient is to make us more able to do the things that are going to build a community that you're going to feel is successful, that gives your children the opportunity to be successful, and that you feel you're being taxed fairly in. And I think we can do this. I'm very happy to have the support I have. I've been endorsed by Ike Leggett, David Trone, Jamie Raskin, all the political leadership in this county. I've been endorsed by almost all the unions. I've been endorsed by most of the social justice groups that work in the county. People know me from my work on social justice issues for a very long time. When I was a kid, the first demonstration I went to on civil rights was Dr. King's March on Washington. And when I was 12 years old, I was at my first anti-war demonstration against the Vietnam War because I knew what a wrong war was when I was a kid. And I knew that was the wrong place for America to be, and we had no business in somebody else's country. And when I was on the Tacoma Park City Council, I actually sponsored 2 resolutions opposing the invasion of Iraq by the United States. And that was passed by the Tacoma Park Council. So I have a long and engaged history in social justice movements and trying to understand the diversity and complexity of the people who live in this community. I would love to have your support on Tuesday. If you haven't voted yet, that's your last chance to vote. Please come out and help us go forward and vote for David Trone and vote for Ben Jealous. We need friends in Congress and we need friends in the governor's mansion who are going to work with leaders like me to make sure we have the right priorities, not just for Maryland and hopefully someday for the country again, but certainly for Montgomery County. So thank you very much for this opportunity. And I appreciate allowing me to speak in the midst of a morning service, which I know is very important to all of you. Thank you.
Thank you again, Mr. Erwich. Again, those who want, they can attend and vote on Tuesday. Name of David Trone came up. He's running for the U.S. Senate, if I understand. I have seen the placards outside. David Trone is one when President Trump stopped the return of a lot of residents, Muslims, back to the United States about a year and a half ago or so. He was the one who actually physically went to the airports, defended them, and hired attorneys on his own to make sure, for most of you who remember, there were some flights coming back to the United States. They were stopped at the border. They were not allowed to re-enter the United States, even if they were legal residents of the United States. David Trone actually went to the airport, to Dallas Airport, and fought for their rights and made sure that they can come back. So if the name Erwich and David Trone are joined together and has been endorsed by him, that says a whole lot. Again, entirely up to you. IEC would not endorse any, as a nonprofit organization, cannot endorse any candidate, but this is just a forum to make you informed and let you make your decision if you would like to attend. Thank you very much. از برادر عزیزم جناب آقای صبوری دعوت میکنم تشریف بیارن و زیارت و مجلس رو به ختم برسونم. خیلی ممنون هستم. صلواتی ختم بفرمایید.
نسألك اللهم وندعوك باسمك العظيم الأعظم الأعز الأجل الأكرم الأمجاد إلهي بحق محمد وعلي وفاطمة والحسن والحسين وبحق 9 المعصومين من ولد الحسين وبإمام زماننا وبدماء شهدائنا يا الله 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 يا رحمن يا رحيم يا مقلب القلوب ثبت قلوبنا على دينك واكفنا يا قاضي الحاجات ويا كافي المهمات إنك على كل شيء قدير. برای شفای همه مرضا، مخصوصا اونایی که نام برده شد و در نظرند و سفارش کردند، 5 بار به نام 5 تن آیه اما یجیب با هم قرائت کنیم. اعوذ بالله من الشیطان الرجیم اما یجیب المضطر اذا دعاه و یکشف السوء 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 اما یجیب المضطر اذا دعاه و یکشف السوء. اللهم اشف مرضانا وارحم موتانا وسلم ديننا ودنيانا. اللهم اغفر للمؤمنين والمؤمنات والمسلمين والمسلمات الأحياء منهم والأموات تابع بينهم وبيننا بالخيرات إنك مجيب الدعوات إنك غافر الخطيئات إنك قاضي الحاجات إنك على كل شيء قدير برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. وعجل اللهم في فرج مولانا صاحب العصر والزمان. السلام عليك يا رسول الله وعلى آلك الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام عليك يا مولاي يا أمير المؤمنين يا علي بن أبي طالب. السلام عليك يا فاطمة الزهراء سيدة نساء العالمين. السلام عليك يا حسن بن علي أيها المجتبى يا ابن رسول الله. السلام على الحسين وعلى علي بن الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين. السلام عليكم شهداء جميعا ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام عليك يا غريب الغرباء ويا معين الضعفاء والفقراء. السلام عليك يا مغيث الشيعة والزوار في يوم الجزاء. السلطان يا أبا الحسن يا علي بن موسى الرضا. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام عليك يا صاحب العصر والزمان. السلام عليك يا خليفة الرحمن. السلام عليك يا إمام الإنس والجان. أجل الله تعالى فرجك ورحمة الله وبركاته. رحم الله من قرأ الفاتحة مع الإخلاص والصلوات.